Hey man, I got a very big update for you guys today. This is the main storage hole that I'll be using for my hybrid encoded storage project that I've been working on for quite a while now. It is 8 items per slice, and you have your display box and all your typical stuff. Now these wooden swords are for demonstration purposes. We'll get into that a bit later. If I were to come out here, you can see the whole entire storage hole in all of its glory. Um, this storage hole was designed to solve a specific issue that I came across while working on a standard binary hole. So if I were to show the slice itself, um, we do get comparator readouts, which is very important, but we do not get the signal strength out. And to explain a bit more about why we don't do that, I will talk about how you would usually do it. Now, typical binary storage holes have this sort of layout where you need to select a slice, and by that you're able to read the contents of the chest. This is very unique and important for binary storage systems because it allows you to take full advantage of what a binary storage system can actually do, which is its call-based features. So by knowing the signal strength of, or at least the fill level of a chest, you are able to send this sort of information to a big brain. And if you know the fill level and the item type in binary code, you can have the big brain do a lot of fancy things like pull bulk to restock itself. You can do things with items such as unstackables and put them in storage holes, which you wouldn't be able to do with a typical sorter based storage system. And that's really cool. Unfortunately, though, with 1.17 and every single other update that will eventually come, more item types are going to come into the game, and for this sort of getting the this sort of field level information, you have to cycle through every single one of these storage slices. So the more slices you have, the slower your restocking will be. And one of the worst parts about it is that the system itself doesn't actually know it needs to perform this sort of restocking, because you could be doing this for quite a while only to find out that 3 item types need to be restocked or something like that, which is very slow and inefficient. So this storage hole was designed to be as fast as it possibly can to give you the field level information and also what item types. And in order to do that, it needs to, of course, be big. Now, the signal strength doesn't get brought forward, and instead we use a true false for the field level. And I've chosen to have 2 shulker worth of items to be the threshold. And to demonstrate how this works, first I want to show the latch over here, which is just to unlock the slice, but the latch next to it down here is used for the restocking, and this will allow us to actually see what of these chests. You can see each of these lights corresponds to a chest, and which of these item types will need to be restocked. So if I were to showcase this right now, this comparator here is active, meaning that this chest has the necessary amount of items, and if I were to click this, that lamp over there will not turn on. Same thing for the one down here. And we are doing this sort of check for each of the ice streams. And this one over here would then, of course, activate it because that is below the threshold. Now, what's quite interesting is that because we are doing this sort of proof false check, we can actually conduct this incredibly fast. So the entire storage system can check what slices need to be restocked in around 2-ish seconds, which is very quick. And this sort of information gets brought down here and gets carried over to this latch, which is part of a list generator. This is a restock list, and what it does is that it will save all the slices that need to be restocked, and once we start reading these sorts of entries, then we can determine which of the ice streams need to be restocked itself. Now, the latch itself was supposed to activate, but I don't have the front end logic here to activate the fancy AND gate here, so just do it manually for now. And to see this list working, I have a smaller version here. If I were to pick these 2 entries, we can see that what happens is that it QCs this dropper line here, which will have the this item here stop at the slice that we want to read, and that would thus activate the slice. So it's quite a simple system, and that's how we are able to read entries one at a time. And what happens is once we read that entry, the latch that I talked about before, this one here, will activate, and this will let us know which of the ice streams will need to be restocked. So if I were to, for example, take out one over here also, you can just pop it off, activate the latch, and now I can check each of these to see which one has to be restocked. You can see now this is how I figure out which of the ice streams need to be handled, and this can happen very, very quickly, which I will demonstrate in the right now. So if I were to come in, clear my inventory, and maybe pick this, and then maybe another one over here, I can come down to the snapshot, which basically takes a snapshot of the entire storage system, saves it into the list down here. So as you can see, and then it would have gone all the way down, and that's all the slices that need to be restocked. I am able to then read the entries, and over here I've serialized all of the information so I can easily send it to a big brain, which will handle all of this logic. But as of now, the encoder down here is linked up to a transcoder, which is then linked up all the way back to the decoder in on itself. So right now we just unlocked the slice that it needed to restock, and we know that we need to put items in 3 and 1. So if I were to come up here, I've actually used hex up here for this slice selection because it's very easy to do that. And first up is to select one, and I'm using Crane's 8 game tick item liner for demonstration purposes. This will not be used in the final storage, but do believe that an item just came through. I have invisible items on for some reason, and then we need to put 3 in. So let's do that. Very sad how I have invisible items. And so that's basically done. And then you need to trigger this line over here to lock this slice after you're done putting items in. And once you've done that, you can go on to the next item type. So we pop it off, use it to unlock, figure out which ice stream needs to be restocked, which is 7. We come all the way up here, pick 7, and then we put the item in. Yep, now we can actually see it. Come down, drops, and it will go into its slice. And once it's done that, we can lock it. That basically just locks the slice. And so if we were to come down here and progress the list again, that should be it. And we'll find the little list item thingy come through. And to confirm that we've restocked the whole hole, I can take a snapshot, and none of it gets saved. So that means all the holes are restocked properly. So it's a very, very quick system and quite interesting. Now, the storage hole itself is 63 blocks long. I plan to actually have the storage system to be 1 hole here, 1 hole there, and 1 hole in the middle. So the actual total length will be a lot more smaller. But again, this is just for demonstration. This whole thing is just for demonstration right now, to showcase. And big shout out to Kaizen. He was the one that made this transcoders, the sender and the receiver, and the very all important binary decoder down here. This decoder is very, very interesting. You can see it's just a bunch of observer spam because that's all Kaizen does, but it does the observer spam in a very, very smart way. I'll link the videos in the description for you guys to check it out. But by using this decoder, it becomes very, very lag friendly. Instead of using Pala's toggle state decoders, and makes the overall storage system a lot more lag friendly. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is the hopper locking. These red circuits are for the hopper locking, and it's globally locked, which is kind of standard for a lot of storage systems these days. Even item sorter based storage systems use global locking to ensure that all the hoppers are locked. But a binary storage, of course, does hopper locking in a lot more interesting way, because we are able to know exactly how long we need to unlock these hoppers for, and it's exactly how long it takes to unload 2 shulker boxes worth of items. So the whole idea is that, let's just say you have 100 items that you need to restock. You don't actually have to unlock this through how many hours it takes to unload all those hundreds of different items. You just unload those items and they'll be set into this buffer chest until it's full, which is very cool because we know for a fact that we need 2 shulker box worth of items when we call a restock. So in theory, there should never be any items overflowing anyway. Second thing is, once we are actually done sorting all those 100 different item types, we can actually unlock the whole global locking line for only 24 minutes, because it takes around 12 minutes to unload a single shulker box, and we're doing 2 of them. And this will allow all the items to trickle down. And the order of operation is to unlock the global line for 24 minutes to allow the items to come down to the chests where the users actually interact with. And then once we do that, we actually take the restock list. So we generate the snapshot of the entire storage system after that. And that kind of ensures that our active lag when performing all of these operations is kept to the bare minimum, which is very important. So yeah, that's about it. Storage holes are going to be in 3s, and I'm probably going to be using a batching system for sending items into the storage hole, because it makes a lot more sense. And yeah, that's about it.